Hello there, very good morning to you. Welcome along to the Half Yard Club. We're having a bit of a barky morning this morning. I think somebody's walked past the house and having a bit of a bark outside. Oh, I've done it again, look. Every week. Bear with me. There, don't want to listen to myself. So, morning Kim. I was wondering if anybody's on YouTube. Oh, Sylvia's there as well. So we're live this morning on the Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook page and on YouTube at the same time. So I'll endeavour to chat to as many of you as I can this morning. Like Sam and Beverly and, oh gosh, we're busy on Facebook, 223. Alex, morning to you, and Elizabeth and Kirsty. It is a lovely day today, isn't it? Gloriously warm and sunny out there. I've even put a bit of fake tan on this morning. Morning Zell. Sunny in Birmingham. No, if I miss anybody, I do apologise. I'll go through all of your messages throughout the rest of the weekend and make sure, hi Kim, I answer any questions that are important to answer. A sunny Saturday in Germany. Hi Sabine. Kelly, good morning. Can't wait to see the sewing. But yes, we're going to do a sew along this morning. So if you've seen the on the community on YouTube or on Facebook, then you'll have a list of ingredients to make a sewing machine mat. I'll show you that in just a second. And a kimono today. No, Karen, the kimono is one of the projects, the members project from the Half Yard Club. So that was last month's project. That's all up there and up and running and everything. Morning Linda, morning Ruby, morning Coco. You may actually get to see Bobbin today. She's quite excited running around outside. Hi Kath in Cheshire. So what are we all up to? Morning Helene, and Angela's really excited as well. It's sunny in Grimsby. Gosh, we are really busy this morning. Right, I'm going to scroll right down to the bottom, so I may miss some of your comments, but again I'll go through those later on. Thank you very much, Enid. Lisa's in Cyprus. Tuning in late. We have housework, Lisa, on a Saturday morning. We don't do housework on a Saturday. It's raining in VA. Where's VA? In the USA. I shall think of that one. Lovely in Kidderminster. Lois is in the garden, hand sewing. Okay, well, for those of you that are new, and I know there's lots of you, particularly on YouTube, because we're quite new to being live on a Saturday morning on YouTube. Hi Roberta in Phoenix. I just wanted to explain a little bit about the Half Yard Sewing Club, because on the last Saturday of every month, the whole hour or so is dedicated to the Half Yard Club, and I'll keep you up to date and let you know a bit more about it. And we're going to do a sew along as well once a month too. Virginia, of course it is, Sylvia. Atlanta's in Illinois. Wow. Scrambled eggs on toast for Hazel. Anyhow, the Half Yard Sewing Club is a subscription website which is available to anybody, anywhere in the world. We don't post anything out, so that anything is downloadable if you need patterns or instructions. So it just means that anybody, anywhere can access it. Every month you will receive a main project, which can be anything from quilting, dressmaking, toy making, bag making, homewares, using lots of different techniques as well. With a video, downloadable pattern if necessary, and written instructions with photography. Halfway through the month you receive a secondary project that will have instructions, pattern if needed, no video for that one. And then every month we have a block of the month. So this year it's actually the Seminole Patchwork, which you can just see at the side of me here. That's it's 6 feet long. It's a huge table runner or bed runner, which was designed by a friend of mine, Melissa Naylor. And so you'll have one block of that every single month. Now when you join up, it's $5.99 a month, pounds. Can't remember what the translation is in dollars and euros, but if you go onto the website then it will translate to whatever currency your country is in, so you can have a look there. And I just wanted to show you what happens when you go on the website. So let me just, oh, I'm logged in, lovely. Now I'm not sure how clear this is going to be, because I'm going to put the camera on the screen and it tends to be a little bit washed out. Oh, we're having the website upgraded as well, hopefully by the end of March. So it'll look pretty much the same, but the spine, the behind the scenes, is going to be all new and quick and fancy. Okay, so this is it. This is what you're going to see. So let me just do that so I can see what I'm doing. So you might not be able to see this absolutely perfectly, but you'll get a general idea. So this is the home page. Now when you join, can you see that? When you join for the very first time, this is the home page that you'll go to. So have a look at the sewing projects. So I was saying there's one a month, or two, well actually 3 a month in effect. These will stay there for 2 years. So that's the kimono jacket that we were mentioning earlier on. That was February's project. There's your secondary project, geometric, patchwork, tablecloth and bowl, and that's your block of the month. So this is everything for February. And then going back over the months to January, there's a pet bed. That's last year's block of the month. We've got Christmas table runners, more patchwork. We've got doll making. All of these are available to you the day that you join. Is that better? So we've got Wonky Street pillows. We've got lots of Wonky Streets coming up. More block of the month. We've got a poncho. Barrel bags, fabric flowers. There's so many different styles in here, and you get access to all of these. The first day that you join up, you get the lot. The projects are taken down every month. One project will come down every month, but we're going back over 2 years. So you've still got, in effect, 2 years at 3 a month. 36 projects to work your way through. So let's just whiz back up to the top again, because there's other features here as well. We have tips and techniques, and this is growing, so we'll get more and more tips and techniques every month. There's sewing with viscose, went on last month, and this is a video. There you go, look. So some of the videos is a beautiful fabric to wear. It's lightweight, it's fluid, it's breathable, it's a natural fibre that's made from wood pulp, it's made from the bog. There we go. So some of them are videos, some of them are just kind of written tips and ideas. There's a lot of videos on here actually, all about different types of feet, different types of fabrics to work with, embroidery techniques. So that's a growing section of the website as well. You've got a special offers page, and there's lots on here. So from books, as you scroll down, this is the one where you get the discount. Can you see that on my website? So if you click onto this, I'm not going to do it now because everybody will know then. Click onto member discount on my website. That'll give you a 10% discount off the Debbie Shaw Sewing website, which is different to this website. Or we've also got an Ask a Member page. So this is like a type of a forum. So we've got somebody asking about card holder instructions, suggestions for a new sewing machine, where can you find Wednesday's chat, is there a video of the pippin bag, how do I subscribe, how do I unsubscribe, the Miss Messenger bag. So you can answer those as well as me, so I chip in as often as I can. So that's kind of a general idea. That's a very quick overview of what you're going to find when you join the club, and you can join from month 3 if you wanted to as well. So if you take a look, you'll have to go through and fill in all of your details because that's just the way that it works, just like any website. Then, sorry, just say goodbye to that one. There we go. I've lost my track now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, when you go to subscribe, as you go through and fill in all of your details in, there'll be a coupon box. If you put in that coupon box the word welcome in capital letters followed by 18, so welcome 18, you'll have a whole month for free. So you don't have to rush and think, oh, I don't know whether to join, I don't know whether I'd like it, what if I don't like the projects. You can actually try it for a month without even deciding. And also we do let you know when the payment is going to be taken out, so we're not just going to think, all right, we've got your name now, we'll carry on taking your payments whether you want to be there or not. You will get a notification about that. Ellen's got to go. Okay, we'll see you again later, Ellen. Oh, hi Romali in Sri Lanka. She's 13 years old and watches with her mum every week. That's nice. Liz has got some new fabric to play with. Lovely. So in Derby City in Kentucky, that's Brenda. Brenda, I'm originally born and bred in Derby City in England. Coincidence. Right, I know I've missed a whole load of your questions and comments there, so who's that oh sorry, I will go through these again later on, sorry about that. Vivian Smith, I'm on Saturday the 27th. Am I on Saturday the 27th? We are on Saturday the 27th, Vivian, and we're live here this morning as well. Had to check the date then. Morning, Dawn. Should we do some sewing? Should we do that? So now I've let you know about the club. There's thousands of us now, and all over the world, literally. I can't think of a country where we don't have a subscriber somewhere. So if you want to come and join us, it would be lovely to have your company. But no pressure, we're still going to do a little bit of a sew along, so we're still here. And we'll still hopefully have a little bit of fun. So just to show you this little combo, back to the Half Yard Club again, this is the March project. So on March the 1st, you'll receive there is a pattern, your full instructions and a video of how to do the patchwork, how to make up the thread catcher and how to make the mouse pin cushion. I think he's so cute. I was really pleased with this one. So I'm going to make now a sewing machine mat that matches. But of course, if you're not a member of the club and you just want to make a sewing machine mat, then that's absolutely fine. So this is one of those covers that just ties at the side, so it should fit most sizes of sewing machines. You can make it bigger or smaller if you wanted to. And it's got pockets on the front, so you can save things in there as well. You go down there. And then we've got the little mouse thread catcher that's got pin cushion, that's got a thread catcher on the front. So that's just going to sit at the side of your table. And then you can take it off to empty it when it's full of bits. Keep yourself organised and your sewing room tidy. And I've put around the top of there because it's kind of it's a circle, and I've used some boning, which is great because I know you can get embroidery hoops and things like that which work really well, but you can adjust this, so no matter what size of circle you've got, you know that you've got the perfect size of hoop. And it's actually a black one, but you don't see it, it's just stuck under there, look. Okay, so sun's out in London, says Pauline. It's glorious here, loving it. So the mat that we're going to make now is this one. It's got indentations on it from my sewing machine feet, and it's just made from Bosal single-sided fusible foam. You could use any kind of wadding or fusible fleece or something like that if you don't have any Bosal handy. And lots of scraps of fabric as well. Who's in Ontario in Canada? That's Christine. Morning, morning, Vivian says, yeah, found you on YouTube. Oh, is that Helen? Oh, is Helen, Christine? No. You chat to each other. I think it's lovely. It's quite the community here on a Saturday morning. Sunny in Stoke. Myra, so excited to sew today. Oh. Okay, Myra, we're on that. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, right. So, I've cut my bits out already. If you're sewing along, hopefully you have too. So I have the measurements and everything they're on Facebook. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as in you just click for notifications and things, you don't have to pay for that. You'll have if you click the subscribe button and then the bell shape for notifications, you'll receive a notification not just when any new videos go on, but I can send messages to everybody that's subscribed. And I did send out a message last week saying this is what we're making and these are the materials that you need. So it might be an idea to do that for shows going forward. Hello Adele in Germany and Michelle in France. Okay, so I think, let me just remeasure that because the measurements are really simple on this. We are 16 inches by 10 inches. If your machine's bigger or smaller, or you want to make one for your overlocker, then of course you can adjust that accordingly. And then I've got my scraps of fabric here, and these don't have to be any particular width. Mine are cut to about an inch and a half. I think I say in the instructions to make them 6 inches long, but I haven't actually cut these down to size yet. This is a great way of using little bits and bobs of scraps, or if you've got jelly rolls and things like that. Marilyn's sewn along in Alicante. Hi Marilyn. Live on YouTube is saying the 13th. Oh, I better change that then, hadn't I? I think YouTube kind of copies and pastes from previous lives. I'll edit that after we've finished. So lots and lots of bits of scraps like so, and then I've got the front and the back. I'm going to cut into one of these pieces. So at the moment those are cut to the same size as the bosal. Sorry about the top of my head. Must lean back a bit. And then I've got 2-inch wide strips which I'm going to make the bias binding out of. So first of all, oh, and then that's my backing and top fabric. I've got the same for both pieces. I'm going to decide whereabouts on here I want my scrappy bits to be. So I'm actually going to mark. Let's do, just get a pen. Say 4 inches from one side. This doesn't have to be exact and set in stone. And I'm going to make that 4 inches long, I reckon. So this is the strip down the centre where my my scrappy strips are going to be sewn. Now I'm using a single-sided fusible bosal foam. You could use a double-sided fusible. You don't have to use a fusible at all if you don't want to, if you don't have any. I don't normally use a double-sided because I make a lot of bags and you can't turn them out when the fabric's fused to both sides. But if you do have double-sided, this is ideal because we're putting binding around it, so we're not turning anything inside out. Okay, so you can go there. And then, now Helene, sorry, I just, it's always very busy on a Saturday morning here. I go through a separate company to allow me to broadcast to more than one medium at the same time. So setting everything up, they tend to pick on what happened the week before and just drop all of the same information in there. So date-wise, it's just picking up on what we've done before. So I'll edit that after we've finished here. So it's not. Is it a problem? Is it a problem it's saying the 13th? I don't think I can edit that while we're actually live. Join me for free motion embroidery. Let me see if I can. If it's going to be a problem. Well, I hope that hasn't just cut me off. Right. Okay. Bear with me if I've cut this off. Then I apologise. We'll have to go back again. So we're still there. Lovely. So I've changed the date now to the 27th, so that should all be okay. So sorry about that. Thanks, Mary. No, Christine, but this is one of the tops that I wear a lot of tops like this. So I thought that's going to be the kind of pattern that I want to make a top out of. Lovely. Right, so let's go back over here. So I'm going to do a little bit of stitching and a flipping. So take one of your strips, and this is just going to lay across the end of the area that you've marked. I'm just going to chop the bottom off that. And I'm not going to sew that one down at the moment. I'm going to take my next strip and place this one face down. So I'm just going to cut that down a little bit now. So that's straight up to the edge. This one's face down at a jaunty angle. So the only thing that I need to make sure is that this raw edge here is covered. So because what I'm going to do is to sew across here and then flip it back. And it's kind of a quilt as you go because I'm sewing through the bosal at the same time. So if I have this too far away, I'm going to have a gap and I'll see a raw edge, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to overlap it like that and then just sew down the edge. Now if you haven't used bosal or fusible foams like this before, so I'm just going to pop that back underneath there. You don't need anything special. You may need to elongate your stitch a little bit because you've got a thicker fabric to sew through, but universal needle is fine, and your standard foot on your sewing machine is fine as well. And that's that. And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to finger crease it. That moved a little bit. I'm not worried about that because I'm going to put binding on it anyway. I'm not going to iron at this point because I've got the gluey side on this side. Yes, Lizzie, it's the scratchy side. So with the single-sided bow stole, you've got one side which is nice and soft and almost fleecy, and then on this side it's the scratchy side, and that's the glue. So at the moment, that's why I'm not putting any heat on there, because I don't want it to stick at the moment. What I could do, if you have anything, sorry, you can hear me rummaging around in here, I'll be with you in a second. Anything like this. That's just a little seam creaser, that can help. Right, so let's take another piece, and again, right side down, over the top of the strip that I've just made at a jaunty angle, and we'll sew along that seam there. So there's no measuring per se, there's no mathematics or working anything out. No two of these, if you're making more than one, will be exactly the same because of the way that we're making it. And you can use any kind of colours you like. You could have a whole rainbow of scrappy strips going across there if you like. And then I'm going to fold that one back and finger crease it. As many different colours as you like. I know I put 3 on the instructions, but if you wanted to put more on there, that's fine. Let's have a dark one. So again, fold that over and are you keeping up? Yeah, all I'm doing, Linda, I've just drawn the lines on there, and I'm making the scrappy bit all the way across where the lines are. The lines are only a guide. They can be wider, they can be narrower. You could, if you wanted to, do the whole of the mat all the way across in the same way, but I just think I like the border like this. It's just a little bit different. So again, right sides down, jaunty angle. You can show I'm just overlapping the edges there, and we'll sew. Life's almost back to normal in Ontario, jolly good. Oops, I put my foot down. Alan's with us this morning. Hi, Alan. Perla's in Iceland. Oh no, you've got earthquake. Do you know, it's one thing after another, isn't it? Earthquakes in Iceland. Yeah, it's Sylvia, sewing machine mat. I wouldn't be without a mat under my sewing machine, to be honest. I'll show you what I'm doing. Because I move it around a lot. I slide it in, I slide it out, and without a mat, it makes the most awful screeching noise, and it doesn't do the table any good either. But I tend to do this when I'm sewing for myself in the house as well. So, you know, as I'm sewing, it'll be so, move it out of the way, move on to the next bit. I'm not a fan of sewing machine mats that are non-slip. I like mine to slip. I have got a big table, so it's not going to slip off, but that's why I like them. And it cuts down on the noise of the machine as well. Okay, so that's where we are here. So let's fold that back. Share, is that your frou-frous? Did I miss something there? I haven't got my frou-frous on in the shed. I've actually got my pumps on today. So next one, face down, jaunty angle. Make sure this raw edge is covered, and then we'll sew. Shirley's going to make it tomorrow. I love the look of it. You know, if you're an impatient patchworker or quilter, if you think, you know, I love that patchwork kind of look, but I'm never going to get my points to match. I haven't got the patience for the accuracy. Then this is ideal, because you don't need any patience. You don't need any skill for this one. What should we do? Let's do another lilac one. Again, I think your instructions are a little bit more structured, as in exactly how many strips of how many different colours you need, but if you wanted to add a little bit extra, of course, any different sizes as well. You don't have to have these all 1.5 inches wide. Oh, Cher's got frou-frous with sheepskin ones with bows at the front. If you're not aware, When Cher first started popping up on my Facebook page, her name is Cher Crevu, and I just thought, oh, what a glamorous name. So I was imagining this 1950s starlet with a long satin robe on with feather trim around it, and a cigarette holder, and slippers with a bit of fluff on the top and kitten heels. And apparently it is, that's exactly how she dresses while she's sewing. So I had a little bit of slipper envy and went and bought myself some frou-frou slippers with a bit of pink fluff on the front of them. Makes me feel glamorous. You never see them, but it makes me feel glamorous. 6:30, Vanessa in the US of A. Thank you for getting up early to join us. Right, so there we go. Jan's moving house next week. Is anybody sewing along? Be nice to know if you are. If you want me to slow down or speed up or anything. So that's the next one. Helen, on Wednesdays, what did I do on Wednesday? I can't remember. Wednesdays I'm on my website, which is debbieshawsewing.com at 2 o'clock live. So that's not on Facebook or YouTube, that's purely on my website. Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock every week. I'm here, either on Facebook. Now the last Saturday of the month, which is this one, it's the Half Yard Club Facebook page and my YouTube channel. The other 3 Saturdays will be my Facebook page. We will share them on both because I know it gets a bit confusing. And YouTube at the same time. Sunny in Trowbridge, lovely. Did I make a bag? Silver, it is. My every day of my life consists of sewing. I forget what I'm doing from one minute to the next. Let's flip that over. Cheryl, I'm hoping Cheryl always dresses like that. That's the impression I had. I'd be very disappointed if she doesn't. It was a bag on Wednesday, was it? Thank you. Sorry I'm late, Christina. Making cakes. Oh, neighbour's 94 tomorrow. How lovely. So again, this one. Oh, Marilyn's sewing along, lovely. Face down. And so, I thought, you know, there's no pinning. There's no particular seam allowance. It's just really easy. It's quite relaxing. And flip that over. Yeah, Helen, just on my website on Wednesdays. Haven't figured out how to do the website and YouTube at the same time yet, but I will. Oh, I could do with another bit of that one, I think. Didn't put quite enough strips of the dark one. So I'll just cut another one. A replacement for Bozel. Karen, you could use anything padded. So if you have, what have I got down here? This is a fusible fleece. Oh, I think I trod on that. I'd use it doubled. So this is a Valiseline H640. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick. I'd use 2 layers of them, maybe even 4 layers of it, and make it nice and padded. That's a fusible one. You don't have to fuse it if you don't want to. Or if you have any wadding, if you're a quilter, then you might have some wadding left over. And again, I'd use a few layers, kind of double it all up. Polyester wadding's fine. Polyester's quite nice for projects like this because you can get it really thick. It's about 1/2 inch or a centimetre in thickness, so it gives a nice, something nice and thick and squishy. Felt you could use if you've got some spare pieces of felt, but again, I'd make a couple of layers together personally. So let's put another one of those on there. Morning, Ashley. Oh, Ashley, you should be able to put subtitles on the videos. I don't know if I can do them from here, but you should have a just underneath the video there should be an icon that when you click on it, it gives subtitles. Unfortunately, they're not 100% accurate. I do try. I'm aware that we have quite a few deaf people watching that are trying to lip read, which is why I'm trying to kind of look out of the corner of my eye instead of turning my head when I'm reading any comments. But yeah, have a go and see if you can actually do that. But hopefully, even if she can't understand what I'm saying, she can follow what I'm doing. flip that over. Let's have another look here. Cake and coffee for Janet. Oh, very nice. So flatten that down. That one's fighting back. I don't know why. I'm going to give that a squish. And then we'll have another floral. It's quite relaxing, this, isn't it? Let's chop that off there. Yeah, polyester's great, Susan. I'm not normally a fan of polyester. If it's a quilt I'm making, it doesn't tend to be the softest of fabrics, but it's nice and firm and padded and great for wall hangings and things like that. But something like this, absolutely perfect. And I wouldn't worry about, did I cut my left arm? Have I cut my left? Oh, I think, oh yes. Fancy that. You notice things when I don't. That's Geraldine. Gosh, I don't know how I did that. Lost my thread again, haven't I? Can't remember what I'm talking about. Story of my life. One more pale spotty one, I think. That's a few more strips than I said in the instructions, isn't it? Must have made them a little bit longer. One more should cover the end of this, then we'll be fine. So let's do that. One more there. They're getting longer and longer as I'm sewing. And then we'll sew down. Oh, thank you. That would be very nice. Thank you very much. There's another coffee to go cold. So let's just sew down here. And that is pretty much covered. So I'm going to give that a quick press just down the centre actually. My top Nikki is from Phase 8. It was a while ago though, so I'm not sure if they still do them. But Cher says you're right on time. Let's have a coffee and a chat in the morning, isn't it? Christelle's got her scissors. Hello Sylvia in Argentina. I don't know about kissing me elbow, Geraldine. Amita's in Sri Lanka. Kath's husband's bringing a coffee. It's nice to be waited on, isn't it? All I'm doing here, I'm only ironing down the middle because remember I've got my my glue side facing upwards, so I don't want to iron that at the moment. So I'm just pressing down all of the bits that I've just sewn. Now that's already quilted through the bow saw, so I don't need to do anything else there. So I think the iron's quite hot enough. Thanks, Amisa. There we go. Diane's not got enough strips. I did put the right amount of strips on the instructions, I'm sure. Maybe on this one I didn't use as many. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I used 8 strips on that one. I think I must have made them a bit narrower on this. Maybe I overlapped them a little bit more. Have you got enough fabric to make a few more strips to keep up? I'm just going to trim the end of this down. Oh, that was quick. Order placed Thursday, arrived today. Oh, well done, Royal Mail. So I don't really need to trim those, but there we go. Okay, now then let's take the top section and I'm going to cut this. That was 4 inches that I measured from the end here, so I'm just going to cut about 4 inches down there. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut 4.5 inches down there. Okay, so that's going to overlap and I'm going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's fold this over right sides together. Keep it nice and straight. And I'm just going to sew along there. Shivs, it is a new Wonky Street cushion behind me. That is spring. So spring wonky cushion is all full of flowers. That again is another project from the Half Yard Club. That one's going to be coming out on the 15th of March. So I'm teasing you there. But it's covered in flowers. There's rosebuds and there's daffodils and greenery and lots of French knots in that one. Okay, so that's sewn down there. And then flip this over. It'll need trimming down a little bit, but I'd rather it was too big than too small. And then I'm going to iron this. Erica, you get 10% discount on my website if you're a member of the Half Yard Club. There is a code that you need to put in. I showed you that earlier on, but have a look on the Half Yard Club website under offers, and it should take you to the code that you need. I haven't got instructions for this one, Dawn. It's just the instructions are here right now. This is what we're doing. So that's actually stuck down. Again, if you're not using fusible, then you could secure all of this with a little bit of basting spray, like 505 spray, or pin it, whatever's easy for you. So I've got that. And then with the piece that I just cut off, I'm going to put this on the other side. So that's how it was. So again, it's going to be too big, but that's fine. So I want those right sides together, so we'll fold that back. Just line that up. And then I'm going to sew down this side, so I'm going to turn it this way to make it easier. You do Norma, it's £5.99 a month. But for your £5.99 to join the Half Yard Club, you'll have 3 projects, including your block of the month. You've got patterns, you've got downloads, and the first day you join, you'll have access to 36 projects. So I think for your £5.99 a month, which would normally be about the cost of a pattern, you've got support, you've got interaction, you've got hints and tips and techniques. Don't know what that was doing in there, switched on, just fell out my pocket. Okay, so then that's this bit here, and then I'm going to fold that back and again press it. Like so. And again, the only reason I'm pressing this down like this now is because I'm using single-sided Bosul. I'm not taking the iron onto the table, so Bosul's quite nice and thick and padded under here. Let's do that. Hello Ellen, Ellen's back again. Let's flip it over and just trim that end off. And I can save all of these bits to do another one, couldn't I? And I'm going to trim that bit back there as well. There. So now I'm going to quilt it. Yes, I think it's, honestly, I know it's my club. Well, it's not my club, it's our club actually. I shall explain. I run the Half Yard Sewing Club with my publishers, with Search Press, which means that between the two of us we have a huge company. So anything that we bring you, like with the projects, they are professionally photographed by my husband, who's a photographer. We do all of the filming here in this little studio. So you've got the different camera angles and lighting and things like that, so we make things as clear as we possibly can. When I've finished writing a project, I send it over to Emily, who's the editor. She's also editor of some of the books that I've written as well. So again, we've got a professional editing team here. She will edit, then everything goes to a proofreader called Betsy, and Betsy will come back with any questions that she doesn't understand or she thinks the customer won't understand. So if my measurements don't make sense or she thinks I need to add something, then that's all amended. We have Emma, who is a graphic designer, and she makes up all of the patterns. So I'll sketch out and put measurements on a pattern and send it over to Emma, and then she will make them look professional for you. And again, these are all tested before they come back again. Caroline is the boss. It was her idea in the first place, and Caroline is Search Press basically. Then we have Claire and Sophie, who are both in marketing. So many of the posts that you see on Facebook, the competitions and the giveaways and the newsletters, all come from Claire and Sophie. And then there's me, Debbie. I'm the creative. I come up with the ideas and make them for you and explain them for you. And then there's Kim, who's my daughter, who is she's my right-hand girl. Wouldn't be able to do all of this without her, and she's involved again in promotions and Instagrams and Facebook posts and general support. And although we're all in this lockdown situation at the moment, she's at home in London, she is with us this morning, spoke to her just before we went live. And who else have we got here? I'm not sure who's put in the Half Yard Sewing Club. Maybe that was Kim. But we're all here and we're all chipping in, we're all watching what's going on as well. So what I wanted to put across for your £5.99 a month, it's not just me sitting here thinking, oh, I'll do a pattern for this and sell it to you for £5.99 a month. It's quite a big thing with a lot of people doing their best to bring you as much value as we possibly can. And it seems to be working. So anyway, so that's what you get for your £5.99 a month. Not just me scribbling out instructions, but a whole team of people to making this as professional as it can possibly be. And it's unique as well. Not aware of anybody else that does anything like the Half Yard Club. Measurements of the mat. Dawn, if you have a look, you're on Facebook. One of the previous posts is a picture of the pink one, and all of the measurements and the materials and everything that you need are underneath there. The finished size of this one is was it 16 inches by 10, I think, but you can make it in any size you like. I'm going to quilt it a little bit. Oh, thank you, Anne. Anne joined in January, and she loves it. Thank you very much. Right, I'm just going to quilt it a little bit. So, and do this however you like. I'm putting my stitch length up because it's not a seam. So, should we quilt all the way through? Did I do that on there? I think I did. Right. I'm going to put the back on and then we'll quilt all the way through. Because again, I'm putting binding around this, so I'm not turning it through, so I can put a back on. I'm going to use some 505 spray. Penny, I think it's your eyes gone fuzzy. I think we're okay at this end. Has anybody else got fuzziness? Morning, Kitty. Thank you very much. Let me spray down here. I'm going to use sprays. Spray them away from yourself. Spray them away from your sewing machine. Well ventilated room and all that kind of thing. I've actually got the rubbish bin down there, so I'm spraying over the top of that. Don't need to do that. I find it helps when I'm quilting to hold all the layers together. So let's pop that on here, like so. And then we'll quilt. Thank you, Dawn. Oh, Mary, did you like my ditty from last week? I haven't got a ditty for you today, but I shall have one for you for next week. How's that? Thank you, Geraldine. Do you sell walking feet for the toy to sewing machine? No, I'm afraid we don't, Lynn. Don't sell any sewing machine bits and bobs. Oh, a few people have gone fuzzy. I don't know why you're fuzzy. Gisela. Oh, if anyone from Half Yard Club is watching, can you put what the US dollars are for the club? I think it's $9.99 or $9.95. Yeah, if you have a look, if you go through to the Half Yard Club and take a look, then I think when you go through to the payment, it'll translate it for you. Body in it. Oh, that sounds very romantic, Miriam. Ola's been with us for over 3 years now, then, haven't you, if you joined right from the beginning? If using double-sided fusible, I'd fuse the back fabric on now. I wouldn't do it as I'm sewing the strips, but I'd put that on now and just iron that on. Michelle's been with us for 2 years. Oh, thank you, Michelle. We're quite interactive as well on the Half Yard Club. quite a few of the, they are brilliant, aren't they, Zahaya? So I'm getting distracted. I've done it again, haven't I? What's he put in me? Coffee. Oh, being interactive. Quite a few of the projects that are on the club are suggestions from you or requests from you. For instance, haven't got it up here, but I was asked to make a bag that goes on the back of a wheelchair. And I do put some thought into it. I can't always accommodate everybody and all of your requests, but I just thought, you know, there's a lot of people in wheelchairs, and if a bag's going to help, then we'll make a bag, but not everybody is in a wheelchair. So I made a bag that could be adapted for a pushchair, or just made into a huge overnight bag, so it ended up as being something for everybody. I think it was Alan that was asking for a man bag. So I made a rather large messenger bag, but it doesn't just have to be for a man. Then there seems to be a lot of bags. There aren't that many bags, honestly. Somebody asked for a baby bag, and again, a baby bag. We haven't all got babies, but a baby bag is just a big tote bag with lots of pockets on it. So we made, I think it was behind me there, look, with the red buckles on it. It's got pockets on the inside and pockets on the outside and mesh pockets. It's like an organising bag. So we do listen to you, we do take note. We've got a whole list of projects that you've come up with already, and if we can accommodate, then we do. Jean's been with me since the start. Thank you. Right. Sharon's in a very hot Cape Town. Oh, do you know, Sharon, my Cape Town, my engagement ring came from Cape Town. My darling husband, who's watching in the house, is a photographer, and I proposed to him 24 years ago, and he was working in Cape Town on a photographic shoot a few weeks later. So I mean, I proposed to him. I wasn't going to buy my own ring as well, and he came back with a huge diamond, which I then had set into a ring that was my mum's wedding ring, so I had that melted down and reset into that. But it was saying about Cape Town at the time. If he was going to live anywhere else in the world apart from the UK, it would have been Cape Town. He loved it out there, and he promised to take me. Can't go anywhere at the moment anyway, can we? But I've never been, but I would love to. And because quite often on a lovely sunny day like it is today, and the sky's all blue, and you just see the odd fluffy white cloud, Gary said that's Cape Town clouds. You know, the ones with a flat bottom and that do that on the top. Cape Town clouds. So hello in Cape Town. I'd love to come over and see you one day. Oh, shall I show you what I'm doing? I'm just chatting away here, aren't I, with it? Anyway. If you wanted to measure a mark, that's absolutely fine. I'm just randomly going to sew lines at angles because I'll show you on the pink one. I think it kind of matches the random patchwork here, and it's quick and it's easy, and again, you don't have to be accurate. So I've sewn a line down each side of the patchwork bit in the centre. And then I'm just drawing lines. And again, if you wanted to use maybe a chalk or something to mark that. But don't worry if the lines are a little bit wobbly, it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, this is going to go underneath your sewing machine, so you're not going to see it anyway. Oh, Elaine, Florida's on the list as well. Haven't been to Florida for a long time. We thought about moving out there at one point. I was in talks with HSN, who are based in St. Petersburg. So we actually went over house hunting. This is a while ago. Actually went over house hunting a few years ago. But that came close to living with you. Catherine wants to go to Cape Town. Oh, I'd love to go to Kenya. Are we having a coach to Cape Town then, Leslie? Yes, Tess. Yeah, it's not all me, the Half Yard Club. So a search because they're the big professional company. So yeah, they're in charge of all of the finances and things like that. South Africa's beautiful diamonds. Oh, Say, Lynn, I didn't know that. Apparently some of the crown jewels have come from South Africa. Cloudy and overcast in PTA. Is that South Africa? All over the place, aren't we today? How are we doing keeping up with this then? The code on the, what code, share? What's the code on the HSC? Don't know what code you mean. Is it the Welcome 18 one? It's pinned to the, that's it, it's pinned comment, so it's at the top or the bottom. Right, I'm just going to iron that again. And then we'll get on with some binding, I think. Jenny's in Australia. We've got a few members in Australia, Jenny. Maureen, I'm sure our sound's okay here. I haven't heard of any problems in this area. We seem to be going out, and let me just check on my I've got my bars going up and down on my software as well, so I think we're okay this end. Right, so that's where I am at the moment. Are you keeping up? I'd love to see your pictures, by the way, even if you can do that as we're going now. Be nice to see if you are keeping up with me. Let's do the binding. So that's all done. I just need to put some binding around the outside. So I've cut 2-inch strips of fabric, and I'm going to join these together because one isn't going to be enough. So let me chop these selvages off. We don't want to selvage, do we? We don't. So they can pop off there, and then we'll join them. Oh, Helena, I love binding. I love doing it. I normally like hand sewing it, but we're not doing that today because we'll be here all day. I love the look of it. Now this isn't cut on the bias. It doesn't need to be. Bias binding is necessary when you're going around a curve, or if you've got curved corners, anything with a curve on, because then it will give and it will stretch without puckering. These are all straight lines. So you can use bias binding if you've already got some bias binding, maybe it's shop bought, but it doesn't need to be bias cut if you're making your own, which is probably going to save you a little bit of fabric as well. So if you're not aware of what bias binding is, if you're new to sewing, something that's cut on the bias is cut on a 45-degree angle. So with a normal cotton fabric or a woven fabric, you'll have a warp, which is the thread that goes up and down, and you'll have the weft which goes across, and it gives you a weave like this, which has a little bit of give in it but not very much movement. If you take that warp and weft and cut it on the diagonal, so you're cutting it at a 45-degree angle, you turn it around so you're cutting this way, and then it can move. So that's how the fabric has a stretch, even though it's woven. It's when it's cut at an angle like that. No need to on this, you just cut in straight lines because we're not going around a curve. When you're joining two pieces of fabric together, it's always better to join at a 45 diagonal line, and the reason for that is that the eye is drawn to straight. Your eye is drawn straight up and straight across. That's where we look, and it's drawn from left to right. It's not drawn to a diagonal line. So if you have a join that's a straight line, it's noticeable. If you have a join that's at a 45-degree angle, your eye tends to glide over it. You don't see it quite so much. So that's what we're going to do. So when you join two pieces together, we need to overlap them slightly. So lay one piece down. If you've got a direction to your fabric, make sure that these are in the same direction, and lay your other piece on top like so that they overlap. May seem a little bit wasteful, but it works. And then we're going to sew. You can pin that if you want to. I'm not going to here. Make sure these are at right angles, and we're going to sew from one diagonal to another like that. So when I fold this back, I've got my 45-degree diagonal line like this. So let's bring this in and sew straight on. I need to shorten my stitch length again and sew straight across. And again, if you feel better drawing a line there to sew along to make sure that that's in exactly the right place and it's straight, that's fine. Then let's cut this back. Thank you. That's the camera I wanted. You see how I'm leaning back so you can see what I'm doing and everything, then just not showing you what I'm doing. Oh, where did I get with that then? Should we do it again? Honestly. One of these days I shall have a professional vision mixer. Oh, hi Lisa. Lisa's been out this morning. Right, so we're going to overlap. And I'm leaning back so you don't get the top of my head, because otherwise I'm doing that. And I'm on the right camera. So overlap like this. And then we're going to sew from that corner to that corner. I'm glad you let me know though, because I'd have been doing that all for hours, wouldn't I? Right, let's go across here. And cut this off. And there's my diagonal line. Now we're going to do a bit of ironing. We're going to do quite a lot of ironing. If you have a bias binding maker, now would be a good time to use it, because this is quite long. I haven't got mine with me, but half the overhead is taken up by your head. I'll move back a bit. Sorry about that. Mary and Lisa are having a chat. Oh, you're opposite ends of the country, Mary. Mind you, not as far away as Glory. In Seattle. Wow. Okay, I shall lean back. And I've got my ironing pad, 2nd of January, Facebook. And I'm going to fold the whole length of this in half down the long side. If you're going to make a lot of binding, then buy a bias binding maker. It's a lot quicker than this. But if you don't have one, you don't have to rush out and buy one. You can do it this way. So literally in half all the way down. Watch your fingers. If you've got the kind of fabric that likes to fight back and doesn't crease very well, then you can always use, we're going to mite us at corners, Sam. We are going to use some spray starch or best press or something like that to take it under control. Sandra, I think that's probably right. If I keep my head out of the way, then I'm not going to be confusing the camera, am I? So we should, are we in focus now? I'm on the overhead camera with my head out of the way. I have to get my roots done. Lisa's kimono jacket is amazing, and she's got, oh, she's making a second today. A simple little girl's dress. Difficult without a pattern, Geraldine, that's the thing. I don't tend to do patterns, and if I do one for the half yard club, it's got to be graded and sized and things. I should put some thought into it. Hi Glenys. Right, then I'm going to fold the long sides to that centre crease. I hope I'm hitting that centre crease, because I'm in a yoga position now, bending right over backwards, so don't get my head in the picture. So just keep going along there. So a bit time consuming, but gives people a chance to catch up as well, isn't it, if you are sewing along, unless you're doing this as well. Keep your head out the way, Kay. Just keep your head out. Alright, so got to do the same with the other side in a minute, so bear with me. I think I might have a long piece of binding here. Cosmic blue, Heather, how dare. I've never dyed my hair in a colour other than blonde. I'm not that daring, I don't think. Okay, and then we shall take this and turn it around and do the same. Fold it over. Alan, you can do whatever you like with those books and those patterns. You feel free. You don't have to ask every time. You have permission to do what you like. So I'm going to, again, long sides to the centre. and press. Zell likes to go purple. I don't know if I dare. I wouldn't look like me. I dyed my hair dark once, and well, it wasn't funny at the time. It wasn't me at all. I was asked to be in a commercial. It was actually for Greg's Bakeries, and they'd already cast a blonde actress, and they wanted a dark-haired actress, and said that I could have the part if I dyed my hair dark. So I dyed my hair dark. It didn't suit me at all, and when I got to the set, I was wearing a hat, and you could just see a little bit of my fringe poking under. They took everything up inside a net. You could just see a little bit of my fringe. I could have made a fringe and just worn that. There's no need to dye my hair at all. And then, oh, it went every shade of orange before I could get it back to blonde again. Things you do. Oh, Joyce has got a mini iron and made an ironing pad. Lisa, the strips will look nice if they're straight as well though, won't they? Doesn't matter. Lisa's daughter's got magenta pink. Wow. Now all of this in half again. So do I'm not camera to do bear with me. This is worth it. Gather skirt on the band square bit. That's a good idea, Linda. We could do that, couldn't we? Maybe we'll do a made to measure. The thing is, if I start doing little girls' dresses, then I'm going to get, well, what about the boys? So I'll have to have a think about what we can do for boys as well. This is worth it, by the way. Seems like an awful lot of folding and pressing, but it's worth it. I kind of enjoy it, to be honest. Glennis has got a book. Can you turn me up, Anne? Turn your volume up. Oh, a lot of people have been making up this ironing pad. It's ever so easy. I'm sure it was January the 2nd on my Facebook page we made this one. It's really handy though. It means I don't have to move boys' waistcoats. I think you need a pattern again though, Sue, won't you? But we'll have a think. Almost there. Right, that will do. Let's put it on and mite the corners as we go. When I've had a coffee, which is going to be cold. Right. You know what I was saying about joins being less visible when they're at an angle because the eye is taken away from a diagonal and your eye automatically goes from the left to the right. That also means that when you have a join in something, whether that's a quilt or a mat like this, if you put the join on the left hand side, it's less noticeable than on the right hand side because your eye's taken away from it. So if you're making a quilt or anything like that, then always put the start the binding on the left hand side. With this, I'm going to start it at the bottom next to one of the seams here, because that's going to be quite invisible because I've already got a line here, so another line going down isn't going to be very noticeable. So let's turn this over and I'm going to fold the end of my binding over by about 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre and then line that up to the seam there, and that's where I'm going to start to sew. So I've got my binding right sides together. I'm just going to sew a little bit and then stop and then show you how I'm going to mite to the corner. So let's stick this under here. So I'm sewing along that crease line. Now when I come towards the corner, let me just get a pen. That's where the edge of my fabric is. You don't need to mark it like this every time. This is just so that you can see what I'm doing. So that's the edge of my fabric here. This is 1/2 inch because this was 2 inches folded in half, then half again, and so that's 2.5 cent. I can't remember in centimeters. So I need to stop 1/2 inch away from the edge there. So that measurement is the same as that measurement. So I'm going to stop 1/2 inch from the edge of the fabric there. So let's sew up to that mark. I'm going to stop, reverse my stitches backwards and take my work out. Okay, so I've stopped 1/2 inch from the edge. Then I'm going to manoeuvre my binding around the corner so that the edges are meeting. And that fold goes straight across the top there. And I've got like a triangle of fabric here. And then I'm going to start sewing right at the end and sew down that crease line again. And like so. So again, I'm coming up to that corner, so I'll mark it again just so you see. 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch there, need to stop there. And snip. And then, yes, Pamela, I would use interfacing on a very silky fabric. Wrap that around the side like before. Triangle in the corner and sew straight from the end. And we'll do that on all 4 corners. Oops, pedals disappearing next door. So, morning Jan. Save all I had made bias tape, wrap it around a recipe card folded in half. That's a good idea. I like making bias tape or binding, bias or not, because I just think it looks so nice to have your binding in the same fabric as what you're using. Again, let's turn this around. Oh, you've gone. The measurements in the instructions, the measurements on YouTube, I actually put a community post out. I was saying earlier on, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and then click the bell for alerts, when I'm doing anything like a live like this every week, I'll send out a message beforehand just saying what we're doing, what time we're on and things like that, so you get an email. But you do need to subscribe, and you don't pay for a subscription, but you need to subscribe and then click on the alerts as well. And then you'll have an alert every time we do a video as well, which isn't often enough, to be honest. Morning, Tonya in Mississippi. So almost here. So I'm coming up to where I started. And remember, I folded over the end. I didn't make this too long, so I'm just going to chop that off so that the 2 ends overlap. So that goes over there, and line up the stitches with the ones where I started. Right, and then the corners, when you turn these over, they just want to jump into the most perfect little mitres. Oh, I love this. Look how neat that is. You see so many people and professional sewers that try and pull binding around a square corner, and it just doesn't work. It's got to be mitered to give you a really lovely finish like this. And then on the other side, now normally I'd hand sew this. I'm going to machine sew. In fact, should have done it the other way around. I'll explain that in just a second. But I just get into the habit of hand sewing. I'd use a slip stitch and hand sew all the way around. But when you come to the opposite side, where this is folded over, I want it to overlap the stitch line here. So when you come to the corners, you can actually manoeuvre that into a mitered corner like so. It's so simple. It's just such a really lovely simple way of doing it. Now I'm going to top stitch from this side, just over where the crease line is there, or the seam line is, and then I should catch the back. If you're making something to sell, or you're a little bit worried about being wobbly with your line on the back because you can't see what you're sewing here, remember you're sewing from the top, then do this the other way around. So you apply your bias binding to the back, and then this would be the front, and when you wrap it over you're sewing from the top, and then it doesn't matter so much if you don't quite catch the back. But we're doing it from the top. So I'm going to put some clips around here to hold it as I sew. Now I know if I overlap, let me show you again, if I overlap that line, the line around here is that seam line. So I know that if I overlap that line just slightly and clip it, when I sew just on the edge here, I'm going to catch the fabric on the back. So even though I can't see it, I know that I'm going to be able to catch it. So you can pin this. It's just easy with clips now, the fabric is so thick. So let's wrap that around. And there's no harm at all if you find that you're pulling your fabric over here and this is too thick, trim it down a little bit. You're not going to see the inside of it at all. So let's again fold that into a lovely mitre and clip it and clip it. Fold it over and clip, and we'll do that all the way around. It does look professional, doesn't it? And it's touches like that, I think, that really lift your work up, makes it more, I don't know, finished. I'm going to trim that down a little bit, like I was just saying. It's a little bit too bulky on this section here. Just a little bit. That's better than carry on pinning. Heather, there should be a bell. There's a picture of a bell on there, and you just click on the bell. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I've got that wrong, but I'm sure it's the bell you click on. Zell's still pressing a binding. Sorry, Zell. Oh, barbecues and placemats. These would make lovely placemats, wouldn't they? That's a nice idea. Right, just keep clipping. Run out of clips. Oh, I'm glad I've been a help, Geraldine. Right, let's just put a few more of these in here. Again, time consuming, but so worth it, you know, if you want it to be. This isn't a rush project. Well, sewing isn't rushed, is it? You should take your time and enjoy it. I have done aprons and pot holders, Anne, not on here. In fact, one of last month's Half Yard Club projects was a full-length apron, like with a plique on it. It was a reversible apron with a plique on it. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate your comment as well. Simple little girls' dress. I'm putting thoughts into simple girls' dresses because we've had a few comments on those today. Coasters, but yeah, placemats and coasters. Good morning from San Antonio in Texas. Good morning to you, Virginia. I've used up all my clips now. Oh, one more there. Okay, so now I'm going to very carefully keep my head out of the way. So just over that seam line, lengthen my stitch again, and off we go. Oh, Josie, go and have a lie down if you're not feeling very well. Always stop with your needle down. We'll see you again later, or we'll see you next week, don't worry. Thanks for letting me know. So concentrating now, look, I've gone quiet. Okay, now when we come up to that middle bit, sorry, the mitered bit, I'm going to hold it in place. I don't want it lifting up and moving. So if you've got something like a bone folder or one of these things, or your quick unpick, just to make sure everything's laying flat, and then on the back it's looking nice and neat as well. So just making sure that's folded over. Nice straight line on this side, because this is the top side, remember. Don't worry if things go wobbly underneath, you're not going to see the back of it, whether it's a placemat or a sewing machine mat. Again, I'm just going to hold that down. Needle down. Carry on sewing. Take your clips out as you go. Morning from Athens. Wow. We had a comment from Athens before, I don't remember. Sorry, I think I'm missing some of your comments. I'm just coming back out here a minute. So many people. Oh, a laptop mat. A laptop mat's a good idea. Lots of people working from home. Did I make my top? I've had lots of comments on my top. No, I didn't make my top. Do you know, if my plan this year was to do lots of dressmaking and make lots of clothes for myself. And I've got to be honest, so much time taken up with the Half Yard Club and coming up with new projects. I'm working at the moment on April's main project, so I'm going to be filming that after I've finished this. I just haven't had time. I'd love to spend a couple of days just dressmaking, but it's just time. There all seems to be a deadline or something more important coming up than just dressmaking. Greystones, daughter-in-law from Carlow Town. Oh, I love technology. We're all over the place, aren't we? Joe's got a parcel from Derbyshire Sewing. But you love it when a pink envelope comes through the door. We're almost finished here. Okay, just coming up to that mitre corner that I want to hold down. Head out the way. And we're back to the beginning. Anne's first time here today. Hello Anne, welcome along. Nice to have your company today. Do I deliver to France? On my website, yes. Yes, we do, Julie. That's on the Derbyshire Sewing website. Texas is thawed, apparently. Okay, I'm just about done. Let me chop off any loose threads that are sticking out. Not too many. So that's the back. So you can see, because I've overlapped it, I've caught the back of that all the way around, and then that's the front bit. It's quite nice actually using part of the patchwork as the same here, doesn't it? Breaks it up a little bit more. You can make that in any size that you like. So this is intended to be a sewing machine mat. Of course it could be a placemat. It's quick. I mean, that was, apart from cutting everything out and chatting a lot, took about an hour and 20 minutes to make. In fact, there's probably more chat than sewing, to be honest. And it's just really easy, but I think you'll agree it looks really professional as well. So this is going to go with my sewing machine set behind me here. So that again is next month's project. Mind you, saying next month, it's next week, isn't it? When's the 1st? 27, 28. Is it Wednesday? I can't remember what day I'm on at the moment. But yeah, 1st of March isn't very long away at all, is it? Right, so let me just catch up, make sure there's nothing outstanding I've missed. Again, I do go back through all of your comments. There's normally hundreds of them, so give me time if you're asking questions or anything like that. I'm glad you've enjoyed it, thank you. Oh, the first is Monday. Gosh, Lisa. So the week after next, I've got both of my boys' birthdays. So my eldest son is going to be 40, on the 8th, and youngest son is 26 on the 10th. Yeah, that's going to be an expensive week. Oh, Lisa. Sorry, St David, because my eldest lad is called David because he was due on St David's Day and he was a week late. There you go. First time, yeah, thank you very much for letting me know. It's a good job you did, because I would have been late for the boys' birthdays, wouldn't I? Right. So, just a reminder, we are on the Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook page at the moment. If you wanted to try for a free month, then put the code WELCOME18, which is pinned to the top of your comments, and come along and join us and give it a try and see what you think. I shall see you again if you are around on Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. I shall be live for an hour on my website on Debbie Shaw Sewing. Next Saturday, and for the next 3 Saturdays, I will be on my Facebook page, which is the Debbie Shaw Sewing Facebook page, although we do share on both of them. I know it's confusing when you've got 2 Facebook pages. And on, thanks Christine, on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock, no matter where we are on Facebook, we're going to be live on YouTube as well. But again, Wednesday reverse, I'm on Sewing Street on Wednesday the 3rd, that's next week, isn't it? At 10 o'clock, yes, in reversible bag. Yeah, I think I'm up to date there. Thank you very much. So that's that. I hope you've enjoyed the demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. I hope you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. And hopefully we'll see you again very, very soon. It's been lovely to have your company. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining me. And I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.